Welcome into Headkrack After Hours is a talented lady who's been helping people get to the money for a long time. Some of your favorite celebrities confide in this young lady right here, and she wants to help you out as well. Lynn Richardson is in the building. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, I am happy. I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm hopeful. I'm still fighting at the ground level, at the grind level, for us to get our wealth straight. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's some very interesting times in which we're living in right now. And, we're talking about the impact of the election on the state of black and brown wealth in America. People's money has been up and down. Now, I know some people, even with the stimulus, were actually making more money not working than they were working. But that dream is about to pop. And, everybody got to get back to business. So what can we do to get back on track?
Well, I have to go back to the very, very first thing. I have to go all the way back to the basics. I was born and raised in Chicago. My grandmother raised me. She was 75 years old, cleaning homes to wealthy people, putting me through college. She taught me everything, like go to school, get a good education, get a good job, go to church on Sunday, wear clean underwear in case you get hit by a bus. Grandmama's teaching, wear clean underwear. Like, she never stopped saying that. God rest her soul. She passed last year right before she turned 98. But she did not teach me anything about money. What I knew about money, I went away to college, one of the most prestigious universities in the country. And so only thing I knew is if I didn't have money, I would ask my grandmother for money. And she'd tell me to look in the room on top of the shelf, behind the box, inside my pocketbook, inside the zipper, wrapped up in a piece of paper towel, it's $20. So
Deep.
she had the money. You know how we do in the community. So when I got off to college, I did what a lot of people do. I needed money. So I went into the credit card room. Everybody knows what the credit card room is. And I didn't just get one credit card. I got one of each. And when the creditors would call and say, Lynn, can you borrow the money? I'd say, can I borrow it from you? I had all kind of funny answers. So fast forward, I graduate, my credit is jacked up. I got my furniture from Rent a Center. My first car was a Lemon. Fast forward, I'm married, 3 children, big house in the suburbs. I'm helping people all across Chicago and the Midwest and possibly even the country. At that point, I was a radio show host. And I helped a lady with 4 bankruptcies and 2 foreclosures overcome her credit issues. She got into a house with a low interest rate, low down payment. I became somewhat of a local money celebrity. And I'm making money, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 a month. A month, not a year. But I was living a lie. You see, I was living check to Monday. You see, check to check is a blessing. That means you get paid on Friday and by the next payday you broke. But check to Monday is a whole nother game. You
Yeah,
get paid
that
on
sounds like some
Friday.
lavish spending and just insane money habits.
Insane, reckless. You get paid on Friday, you kick it on the weekend, you pay on your past due bills. And by Monday, you're broke. And so it was then, after my degrees in economics, finance, and business, that's when I learned more money doesn't solve a money problem. So for everybody who is relying upon the stimulus checks, for everybody who, maybe have been getting the unemployment or whatever the case may be, and this is the time to stack. This is the time to decrease, because more money does not solve a money problem. If more money could solve a money problem, you never have a bankrupt millionaire. You never have a bankrupt billionaire. So I spend my life helping people understand these things. The first 10% of every dollar you get, you tithe. I still believe you should give if you can. The next 10% you should save. Saving is absolutely critical. And it's not just saving for a rainy day, it's saving for a come up. This morning, I was up early. I was buying stock. There's some stock on sale 12 years ago in the 2008 recession, because what people need to understand is coming out of this pandemic, you will either be a millionaire, a billionaire, or a witness. The last one,
that says a lot.
The last one, I was a witness. My sorority sister, she bought 100,000 shares of stock when one of the major banks dropped to like 18 cents a share or whatever it was. And so when the stock went back up, she cashed in for a come up. So we have to save money for a come up. The next 30% is cash in your pocket or on a separate debit card. This is to avoid a spending addiction. A spending addiction is what you have when you go to the store for toothpaste and walk out with $179.47 worth of stuff you don't need.
Guilty.
Talking about it was on sale. That was not on sale for you, right? Or you're at home and you're shopping online. I know people now who are shopping more staying at home than they were when they were going out. So that spending that cash, that money that you just have. Even Candy Burris, she said the money that she can just spend, it's on one card, and when it's gone, it's gone. And so this money has to be able to cover your incidentals, groceries, gas, hair, nails, the new iPhone, whatever it is. If it doesn't fit, get rid of it. and the remaining 50% stays in your checking account for your bills. Now, here's what happens. Either you have more than enough money or not enough money. If you have more than enough, that's not a license to go buy new stuff. You now
Mm-hmm.
have to eliminate your debt, because money will work harder for you than you can work for it. And when you owe people, then money is working for them and not for you. And if you don't have enough money, then you must subtract. You have to reconsider your car note, the house note, the kids who are in college. I have three daughters. My oldest graduated from Northwestern. My two youngest are at Howard. But in my household, school is free. If you
That's
get
right.
A's, you go to school for free. If you get C's, you go to the free school. Either way, it's going to be free for me. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Miss Richardson, you and something else, but you're dropping a lot of jewels, and I want to make sure everybody could pick up on this because not everybody is so financially astute. Like, even, I could, testify to what you were saying about your grandparents, how, like, your grandmother always had the money. My grandmother always had the money, but she got her money off the stocks as well. And
Mm-hmm.
she would try to explain to me the stock game, but I was just too young to process the information because people are scared to take risk. We're quicker to take a risk and go buy a lotto ticket or buy $100 worth of like lottery quick fives or quick,
Yep.
pick sixes, and we don't invest into things that could really get that long-term, financial gain going. So baby stepping it to
Yeah.
someone looking into getting into the stock game, enhancing their portfolio, where do they begin? Where do they start looking? Because it can look very big and treacherous if you don't understand the game.
Yeah. Well, the very first thing is to get your financial situation under control. So if you're spending more money than you have, if you don't have enough money to pay your bills, and if you don't have at least 6 months of money put to the side that you don't have to worry about, at least 6 months of living expenses. So before you start investing in stocks, I recommend that you get your money under control, start to work on your credit. And once you've got 6 months, now, they used to say 3 to 6 months. I say 6 months, and I really, really would say 1 year of living expenses, because this pandemic has shown us that you could wipe out your savings in no time at all. So if you have 6 months of living expenses put to the side, now it's time to start to invest. And what you want to invest in, you want to invest in the things that you already use. So there are some things that we use like soap and toilet tissue and some things that you cannot live without these things. Then
Right.
you might want to go invest in the company that makes these products. What are you eating? What are you wearing? One of the things that I say to my sisters about our purses, I say we have to stop buying deals at the stake. Deals at the stake are items that we buy in 2020 that are not worth the ashes we could have burned them to 3,000 years ago. For example, $5,000 rims on a $500 car. Okay. You know what I'm talking about.
Indeed.
And purses. And now let me say this. There has never been a purse company that has ever gone out of business in any recession. I'm not going to name them. And I carry some of them. But this is the test. This is the universal purse test. If the purse costs more than the amount of money you can keep in it on a regular basis,
Amen.
leave it on the rack.
Amen.
If
You know,
you got a $500 purse, you say, Self, do you usually have $500? No. $20 purse. Self, that's usually how much you got. That's the purse that you get off the rollback rack. Okay. So what you want to do instead is, if you're going to buy that purse and you can keep that amount of money in it, then you also want to buy stock in that company. So you want to start with the companies where that you are already using their products, and you don't just want to have the product, you want to own a piece of the company as well. But what I tell everybody is to get a financial education at New Wealth University. You can learn how to invest in real estate, how to invest in the stock market, how to start a home-based business, passive streams of income, you name it, we've got it there to help businesses and people who are just starting out learn the money game properly.
that's what's up. So, just to catch everybody up in class, we've talked about 10, 10, 30, 50 principle, as far as
Yes.
like, divvying up your money, put it in the right place as it relates to stocks. Think about what you use regularly. And if I may add this in, let me know if I'm right on it, but look at where the world is going and invest in the things that are having to be out there in the world. I passed on a great stock tip one time, Ms. Lynn, and a buddy of mine said, like, listen, this company is about to start putting these cameras in all the cars because all the cars gonna have them backup cameras. I was like, oh, word, really? How much
Wow.
is this stock? And I looked at it, it was like $27 per stock. I'm like,
Yeah.
We'll see. Man, I waited a few months and I looked at that stock again. It was out of here. And I was so mad. And I said to myself, never again. And
Yeah.
then that's when I started really getting literate and thinking about, okay, cool. What do I actively use? What is the world using? Like even with
Yes.
Beyond Burger, like when people started using the Beyond Meat and like companies
Yeah.
started like, oh, we're going to start carrying this. I was like, okay, cool. That means it's going to work. And boom, my Beyond
Yeah.
Meat stocks blew up. So look around you, look at where the world's going. There's a popular company, I don't know when people are seeing this, that just adopted the vaccine for
Oh
corona.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've been watching them all morning and seeing how they
Mhm.
move it, and it's
All
happening.
morning. Yeah. And because of that particular stock and what it's doing, some of the stay-at-home stocks are doing worse. So some of the stocks that were on the rise during the heat of the pandemic are now going down because the market is saying, oh, we have a cure, we have a vaccine. Of course, it's not happening anytime soon. So my next stock tip, the first one is to buy the things that you regularly and normally consume. You gave a great tip to buy things that you know the world is going to use. But the other tip is now to buy some of the stocks that are on sale. Some of the airline stocks are on sale. Look at some of these companies that may be undervalued according to the market, but they're going to go up later. And then some of the stocks, like several stocks today, have dropped in price. They are in my portfolio. And guess what? That's called a sale. That's called a sale. So now I'm going to go buy 100 more shares of this, 50 more shares of that, because when that stock price goes up after the market, gets a little unconfused and so on and so forth, then I'm going to be able to gain. So the state of Black and brown wealth in America is this: we are facing a zero net worth in this century within the next 20 years, a zero net worth. That means the difference between everything we own minus what we owe will be zero. Now, that's according to a Forbes article.
Okay.
My belief is this: that the net worth of most millennials is a negative number today. So if we are approaching a zero net worth from a median standpoint as a whole collective community, let's look at the millennials who have a negative net worth today. How do you get a negative net worth? Well, what we need to understand is this: the story that we were told 30, 40 years ago was this: if you go to school, get a good education, you will get a good job and you'll be financially free. That's not true.
At all.
That is not true. And I am not against education. I did my undergrad at Northwestern with Mara Brock Akil and many others. I did my seminary degree at Trinity International University. My children go to school, and so I believe in education. But we have to learn how to do education better, because what our people have done is they've gone to school, gotten an education, used their mothers and their parents' equity in their home, taken out student loans. So now we're graduating from college, Headkrack, we're graduating from college with a degree and a mortgage, but no house. Because
Severe debt.
a $75,000 student loan is a mortgage.
Indeed.
A $150,000 student loan is a nice mortgage. A $200,000 student loan is a mansion. And so we're coming out with high debt, low wages in comparison to that debt, the inability to purchase real estate so that we can get back over the hump. And so we're facing a tragic period as relates to our wealth. And it starts with us making better decisions. I can't tell you the number of families I've counseled. And I said, listen, that kid can go to school, but they can go to the community college. They can go there for 2 years. You can go there for 2 years, get straight A's, work at a retail store after school, before school, pay for it yourself, and then transfer. If you're going to go away to college, then you want to buy a piece of property. You can use the Kitty Condo program. And the Kitty Condo allows your college student to buy a piece of property, no income. All they need is a parent's signature, co-signer. And guess what? When you move off campus, instead of you and 5 roommates renting from somewhere else, those 5 roommates can rent from you. Your mortgage payment is $900. You're collecting $4,000 a month in rent. Now you are bringing money in instead of sending money out. You have no housing expense. You decrease your tuition. And if you are at a state school, now you're an in-state resident and your tuition can go down from $10,000 to $2,000. So we have to start to really think about the ways we can get our money back. And the last thing, the biggest thing, What people must do is spend less money,
Hmm.
get more money. Everybody must have multiple streams of income. Everybody needs a home-based business, not just the people down the street. Everybody must have a home-based business, because when you have a home-based business, you now have access to over 400 tax deductions. If you learn to live your life like a business, learn the rules of the game and play the game by the rules. Because now when you have a home-based business, things like your cell phone that you use for business, when
Right.
you drive your car for business, when you go out to eat. I don't care if my best friend called me because a man quit her, this, that, and the other. When I go out to eat, it's a business dinner, because I'm
Indeed.
always gonna talk about money. I'm gonna always bring up money, and they're gonna bring it up. And so when you do these things, when you travel, you go on vacation, that's not a tax write-off. But if you take a business trip, it is. So we must learn to spend less money, get more money, and then get your money back. You must get your money back. You must learn the game of the wealthy in order to be able to make it in this economy.
And please document everything too. There's so many apps at your disposal, like Expensify. If you feel like you do a terrible job of keeping up your receipts, you don't like walking around with paper. As soon as the receipt come out, write business dinner with blah blah blah. Take a picture of it. Expensify or app like that will hold that down for you, so you don't have to keep up with a million papers. You can
You
download it
are
all.
preaching. You are preaching, preaching, preaching. Yes. Get the apps that now the app that I use is TaxBot. There are several. I
Okay.
learned everything that I know about taxes from a man named Sandy Bakken. Sandy Bakken used to work for the IRS. He was an IRS attorney. He used to train the IRS agents how to go out and get people. He left the IRS probably 30 years ago now, and all he does is teach self-employed people like you and I, because people don't realize if you're a DJ, if you do hair, if you do lashes, if you're a babysitter, if you drive for Uber, we are all in the category called self-employed. And so his app called TaxBot, it tells you who, what, when, where, why, and how much. For every single transaction, you must know all 6 things if you were ever to get audited. But yes, start with any app that you have, start to learn the rules of the game. Did you know, Headkrack, for example, let's talk about children for a minute.
Okay.
Now, I have 3 children. My grandmother has 16 brothers and sisters. It was 17 of them. And she was the oldest. So she took care of everybody. She was her mother's midwife on many of the situations when the kids were born. So she had to feed 17 people every day. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I had 17 kids, everybody wouldn't eat every day. I'd have a Monday, Wednesday group and a Tuesday, Thursday group. And on your day off, you'd have to fast, pray, or steal. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm sure
But
that's a thing somewhere. Like I'm sure
yeah,
there's some people are on that rotation.
yeah, they're trying to feed these children. But here's what the IRS says. The IRS says when you have a home-based business, you can hire your children to work in your home-based business. It's IRS publication 15, page 13. You can hire your kids to work in your home-based business. You can pay each child up to $12,400 a year. The money that you pay your child is now a tax write-off. Multiply that by 2 kids, that's $24,800 in additional tax deductions. Multiply that by 3 children, that's $37,200. You can pay each child up to $12,400 a year. The money you pay them is a tax write-off. And now the money that you pay them, so you get that money back at tax time. Now the money that you pay them, that's the money that they use for school clothes, school supplies, tuition, ballet, football. Now these are things you were going to pay for anyway,
Right.
but you weren't going to get your money back when you pay for it. So my youngest daughter is 19. She's been working for me since she was 6. All of my children, they've been working for me since my youngest daughter was 6 years old. So they had their own checkbooks. When they went to school, they wanted to buy some or go on a field trip, they paid for their own things. And so it's these kind of things that the wealthy have mastered. But to your point, you must document everything. And people say, well, Lynn, this is hard work. Well, so is being broke.
Yeah, you got to work harder if you're broke. There's so many gems. I have never heard that last one about like hiring your kid. I mean, obviously, you hire your kids, but yeah, I didn't know that those type of rules and things were in place. And these are the
Absolutely.
things that the wealthy have been using to their advantage for a long time. And there's so many other conversations I can't wait to have with you in the future too,
Yes.
about even the ability to be able to gift homes to your children,
Oh,
so you
yes.
could start that generational wealth that a lot of people got the
Mhm.
drop on us on, generations ago, because, there were certain places we weren't even allowed to buy homes. The
There you
banks
go.
legally couldn't even give us the loan to even buy homes. So like we're playing catch up in a lot of
We're playing
places.
catch up. We're
But
playing catch up. And
with
so,
people like you, Miss Richardson, giving
yeah,
the information, man, we're gonna get caught all the way up. If people want to follow you and continue to get these gems, where can they go?
go to follow me at Lynn Richardson or go online to asklynn.org. Asklynn.org, submit your inquiry. You'll get an immediate reply. You'll have the ability to call me. You can also call my office at 888-LYNN-123, 888-LYNN-123. A member of my team will help you. And now is the time for us to grind. I actually believe we can be wealthy. I've gone through everything: foreclosure, bankruptcy, you name it. Two bankruptcies, the chapter 13 and chapter 7. So I've lived through all of these things and I've helped so many people recover, including myself. So I believe that we can be wealthy if we learn the rules of the game and we play the game by the rules.
Lynn, you out here doing God's work, and I'm sure you know it.
Come on now.
Indeed.
Amen now.
Well,
Yeah.
promise to me this ain't the last time you're going to pull up on us, because people need this information, and I am willing to do whatever I can to help you get the information out. This is important, and we're all living through something right now. I read a quote today. It says, we all arrived on different ships, but we're all in the same boat right now, and we all
Yeah.
are. So let's get somewhere, fly together, and continue to grow ourselves, okay?
Amen. Thank you so much. And God bless you and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much.
There
I'm
it is.
honored to be here.
One time, y'all, for Lynn Richardson. Be sure you follow her. The information is right below. And yo, we're going to help you get this money together. Peace and love, y'all.